Good morning and welcome back to the Pleasure Beach Resort. Yes, we're back again, but that's because it's Mother's Day and it's Luci's choice as to where she wanted to go and where else is she going to choose than Pleasure Beach. So we thought we'd take the opportunity whilst we're here. It's almost the very last day in March, so we're going to do a bit of an April update to see everything that's going on at Pleasure Beach, because my word, there's been some bloody big announcements in the last couple of weeks. So all of the scaffolding is almost down on Launchpad. You can see down the bottom there's lots of bits and bats all over the place, ready for some construction. So hopefully we're going to see a little bit of theming, a little bit of a tidy up of the area, because I mean, I have taken the mick out of the colour scheme of this before, looking like the big one and a big one support, but it does look clean, it does look fresh, and it's going to be great to have it back. I think it's just going to be nice to have this back as well now. I guess they've got an event for it going on, a fan club event on the 17th of May. So if that fan club event's the 17th of May, you would think it's going to be open before that. I would guess sometime towards the end of the Easter holidays. They've got a little bit more of the scaffolding to come down and then the gondolas to go on. They've still got around a week and a half, I think, before it opens up fully throughout the season. So sometime during April, I think, is when it's going to open. But it's going to be fantastic to have it back, because at the minute, this entire area is a little bit dead. Loki's has been closed since the start of the season. Ice Blast has obviously been closed, or Launchpad now, for a long time. And due to what's going on with the climate at the minute, or the financial climate, is they're not opening Valhalla until 2 o'clock either. And so this entire area becomes a little bit dead. So for a change, the first ride up today for Henry and his nan is Derby Racer, or Derby Racer. I can't remember whether it's the posh one or not. But a very interesting ride, and Luci came on the behind the scenes tour a couple of weeks ago where you got to go underneath this and learn all about it. But a very interesting ride and a standout attraction here at Blackpool, especially on the nostalgic side of things. It's lovely to see, but those horses have a fair old pace going on them. So we got an email to say that our brick would be up on the wall by the 6th of April or before, so check it out now. And we made it! We're on the Wall of Fame with such legends like Thrills and Food, Coaster Crazy Andy, Lift Hills and Thrills, and the Thompson family themselves. So yeah, very happy with that. So, one of the great things that's going to come in the future at Pleasure Beach is that Thrillermatic, just behind me, is going to be receiving a brand new scene tied into the Vengeance Most Foul movie. But it's fantastic to see Pleasure Beach just taking one of the attractions that's been here a while now and keeping it fresh and updating it. So, yes, it's not going to be a brand new attraction, but going into it, it's going to feel fresh, it's going to feel new, and it's great to just see that little bit of care and attention paid to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like. And Gallopers has been completely removed now, down on the travelling circuit, I believe at the location where Spooky World is held, Jack's Farm, something like that, don't quote me on it. I think the organ might still be in there because the Gallopers picture that you've seen at its new location didn't seem to have the organ, so hopefully that is kept. But it's not just that which has been changed in this area at the minute, because you've got the brand new wrap all over the big one. So originally sponsored by Pepsi, it's had those iconic Pepsi Max wraps on it for around 20 years now, and it's finally been changed. One thing I would urge Pleasure Beach to do is do not put Enzo back on Icon. Today it's a decently busy day in park and they are smashing out Icon trains. Without Enzo on there, I think I timed it at about 75 seconds between the two dispatches every time. It's like clockwork. That queue hasn't been more than 5 minutes all day, and as soon as you put Enzo on, that's just going to slow it down somewhat chronically. Not only that, I've never noticed it before, but Icon seems to have a little bit of a squeak. Listen to this. We're going to jump on the Pleasure Beach Express, but before we do, this place down here, this lovely little food joint, probably the closest place on park where you could actually say it's the closest to Amarak food you could get. I rate the food really highly here at Pleasure Beach, but that, not the best. So yeah, we just had a cheeseburger, not a meal, just a couple of cheeseburgers and the hot dog meal, and it was all pretty bog standard. I mean, he really didn't like it, but he's very particular with his food. But considering that you've got the likes of Loki's and the gyros place here on park, that just ain't up to par with the rest of them. But anyway, this is Coaster Kid Official. He's got his brand new channel, which is launched just a couple of weeks ago. So by all means, go and give him a little follow, a watch, a like, a subscribe. All those things. You're on Instagram as well, aren't you?
Yep.
But yeah, it's got some really good stuff, a great child's eye point of view on everything that's going on. So go give him a watch. If you like his stuff, give him a subscribe. So, while Henry braves Infusion, good luck to him because he's never been on it and we've not pre-warned him just what kind of migraine he's going to come off when he finishes it. But this is a perfect place to actually talk about 2026, because just next year, if we twist around, just swinging above this area here is going to be a brand new 138-foot gyro swing, and the interactions you're going to get on the top of the big one when you're coming down the Infusion lift hill, and when you're on top of the Big Dipper as well, just as this thing swings up in the air behind you, it's going to be incredible, and it's a fantastic new addition for Pleasure Beach. And I don't particularly know how popular it is, but I know all of these eateries here seem to be quite popular. This juiced up part over in the corner, I've never really seen open or doing anything. Now, if you've got the gyro swing just where the Bowlerdrome is swinging up out the back, it would be nice to get rid of these here and just have a viewing platform down over the gyro swing, just so you can essentially be underneath it as it swings up. That would be pretty incredible. One of the next things being reimagined as well is the river caves, which was slated to be one of the next projects that they start working on. But if you actually have a look at the video that they released, it doesn't look like it's just going to be a bit of a paint job on the inside. It's going to be a full-on makeover of everything in there. So I'm looking forward to seeing if there's potentially some new practical effects, some new animatronics and stuff. Fingers crossed it's a very, very good makeover, because that's an iconic ride and it's nice that they're keeping it, but it would be good to see it being brought up kind of to this century. One thing I think the park really do need to work on is the communication around filming on rides. Now, there's been kind of an unspoken rule in the past that none of the coasters you can film on, but the likes of Alice and the Ghost Train you can film on. But the park have explicitly stated you can't film on any ride here for safety. They just don't want it happening. But I literally must have seen almost every person that was on the Ghost Train whilst I was waiting for Henry all had the phones out filming, and the ride ops were doing nothing about it. Now, us, we don't film on the rides. We've not been given permission, so we don't do it. But it does take away from that experience when you're not allowed to. And we obviously follow the rules, but they're not really enforcing them for anyone else. So if you're going to have those rules, at least pull people up on it when they're breaking the rules. It's just no good, really. It's getting a bit wet here. You see, and I'm not going to point the camera at them because obviously this is someone else's children, but when the fountain shows are on, you're not allowed to go near the fountains, and there's currently a gen and his child running through the middle of it, filming it on his phone. And this is what I mean about where you need to be a bit consistent with your staff around the place enforcing the rules, because there's the guard for the show stood there watching them, not doing anything, despite people not being allowed near the fountains when the show is on. The queue and a half starting to form now. It's actually been down all day as the big one due to high winds, but it's tested around 3-4 times now for the first time today, so I think everyone is just hopeful that it's going to be back open any moment now. Gutting, so halfway through the testing, the winds spiked again, although you can't feel anything down here. Well, up at the top, the winds have spiked, so the big one is closed, and everyone here goes away disappointed. I know we've already covered this, but I thought I'd just point it out, is that I just googled altitude just to see what the definition was, and it is the height above sea level. So is this Blackpool taking the mick out of themselves for the fact that they've been advertising the big one to be the tallest coaster and the 235 foot, which it isn't technically 235 foot, it is above sea level, but not from the bottom of the coaster. And that looks like it's a bit of a self-inflicted piss take, which is it's good to see if they're not taking themselves too seriously and they can high like that. I like it. Well, we're finishing his day off down here on Blackpool Beach. It was a good day at Pleasure Beach today. It wasn't too busy at all, which is quite surprising really, given that it was Mothering Sunday. It's supposed to be one of the busiest days for any kind of entertainment out there that there is. I know working in the industry that it's generally your busiest day of the year, but not that busy at Blackpool today, which kind of takes me on to the news that I was going to talk about earlier. It's kind of been dramatised on the news over the past couple of days about Blackpool's position and the position that they're in financially, because they've made something like a £400,000 to £600,000 loss this year, as opposed to the £3 or £4 million profit that they made in the previous year. And as the news and the media outlets do, that kind of gets blown ridiculously out of proportion. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a good thing. It's never a good thing when a business like Pleasure Beach is losing money. You look at Oakwood, you look at Flambards, lots of places are going out of business because they aren't seeing the profits that they once saw. Blackpool, I'm not going to lie, is potentially at risk. But there is a lot that they're doing, investing in the future. You've got the brand new 8.2 million, 8.7 million gyro swing, which is being brought in for next year. You've got upgrades to the river caves. You've got the new Launchpad makeover that's happening there. They are investing, and I think as enthusiasts, that's fantastic for us. But we need general public footfall to be in the park now. We need them to be drawing people into the park from the outside to really get that extra profit spent in there, because unfortunately they are in a situation that they can't continue in. You can't make a loss year after year and still expect to continue, and it's not necessarily their fault. I mean, I'm no expert on the financial side of things, but they did see around a 2% increase in visitors last year than the previous year, which is great. They're bringing more people into the park, but the costs have absolutely spiraled like they have for any of us. Again, I don't profess to be a financial expert, but I've had a look at the books for this year, and you are looking at, even though they only have maybe 10 more members of permanent staff than they had at the same point last year, they've had to spend an extra £2 million in wages because of the cost of living increases. Wages go up again in just a few days by another 6.7%, so that's going to add like an extra £500,000 to the wage cost next year as well, without any additional employment. Energy's gone up, goods and services, all of that kind of stuff's gone up, so they are having to spend so much more money, yet they're not making all of that money back. And I think it's kind of up to us to make sure we continue to go and support the parks. Yeah, and I think it just highlights that we do need to consistently be spending as money at these places. It is a case of use it or lose it at the moment in time with how multiple industries are working, not just this industry. But I am confident that Blackpool do have a bright future ahead of them. When you look at the investments that they're making, when you look at the behind the scenes tours and the fan club events, Blackpool more than anyone this year seem to have taken on board that feedback that people have given them, and they're running away with that feedback to try and make it a better place. And so far it is working. It is a fantastic place to be this year. I've thoroughly enjoyed every single visit that we've got. It's by no means perfect. There's still a lot of work to do, especially when it comes to the operations on the food side of things. constantly waiting for food. Every time we've been, no matter whether the food's already cooking on the grill, it's like 15 minutes before you get your food. That needs working on, but the food is pretty much spot on. Some of the best food that we've tasted in any of the theme parks in the UK, apart from that one place that we tried today, which was very Aramark. But yeah, they're doing a grand job, and I'm excited for the future of Blackpool, I really am. But anyway, that's us done today. We're going to take a nice little stroll on the beach before we go on the not so long drive home. If you've enjoyed the video today, then please, by all means, smash the like button for me. It really does help. And it doesn't cost you a thing to subscribe, but it makes me feel fantastic seeing those numbers go up and that people are enjoying what we do. And it also helps the channel get a wider reach out there for anyone else that may enjoy what we do as well. So if you don't mind, please smash the like button and the subscribe button. And comment down below, let us know, have you been to Blackpool this year? Where do you think it stands in comparison to previous years at Blackpool? Where do you think it stands against the other theme parks that are in the UK right now? And do you think Blackpool are at risk of going under at any point in the future? I personally think not, but we all have different opinions, so please comment, let me know. With that being said, it's time for that drive home, and we'll catch you on the next one. Catch you later.